Does reading in your second language harm your pronunciation? Probably a little bit. So some of the evidence that we have is we can do experiments where we try to teach people nonsense words. And what we find is that there are benefits to reading. So if you are trying to give someone a nonsense word and you only give them the sound of it, they don't remember it as well as if you give the sound of the word, but also the written form of the word. The problem is that if you give the sound and the written form, they pronounce it less correctly. They have a stronger accent at the pronunciation. Why is this happening? Because whenever we learn our native language, we have to learn a bunch of different rules to fit a large amount of sounds into a small amount of letters. So we know, for example, that the C sound makes the word for cat in English, the H sound makes the hat noise in English, but when we put them together, they become church. And so we have all these complicated rules. And so whenever we bring them to a second language, we copy over some of the words from our first language, and we don't know these special rules from the new language. So, for example, if I look at this word, I'm probably going to guess that this is pronounced in Portuguese, habilidade. But actually it's habilidade, or much better than that, but it's much closer to habilidade, because this is Portuguese and generally the H is dropped entirely as a sound. So if you don't know these rules, whenever you read, you're going to ingrain in your head the wrong pronunciations of words over time, because you're going to be hearing the words with your incorrect pronunciation. So the question is, how can we reduce this problem? First of all, be aware of the problem. Secondly, learn some of the pronunciation rules that are in your language. For example, I now know that in Brazilian Portuguese, when an O is at the end of a sentence, it generally becomes a U. So it's not bolo, it's bolo. The third thing you can do is, whenever you have a word that you want to learn, you can look up how the word is pronounced. You can use services like Wiktionary to do this, which usually has a recording of lots of common words. It always has the International Phonetic Alphabet of the word. You can also use something like an LLM, because you can put a word into Google Gemini and it will give you the IPA of the word. It'll also suggest some similar words in English that you can use to help practice your pronunciation. So hopefully it was useful to some of you guys. Have a good afternoon. Enjoy your learning of your second language.